Getting ready to speed draw a font with Minnesota Original. Send. Now I got a Facebook next, okay? That was the Twitter. I'm drawing a historic reenactment font from the marquee of the Hollywood Theater on Johnson Street in Northeast Minneapolis. I'm trying to recreate those lighted three-dimensional letters, but in a playful way. I create fonts from scratch. Fonts are the typefaces that people type with every day on their computers, the words they read every day in print and on the internet, and those are all made by craftsmen, and that's what I do. I'm referencing my source materials here. I took some pictures with my phone. Half the lights are burnt out. I'll try and get that into the font. The Y, all the lights are burnt out and it's all dark. I like that one best. And this particular one, I used the ruler to be the height of the letters, so that's going to be kind of uniform. That helps me keep it more uniform. But I'm also trying to kind of angle it a little bit to make it look like it's up on a marquee. It's a little more exciting. I'm inspired by all sorts of signage, handmade signage around town, that nowadays everything's made from a computer. And these things were crafted by hand. There weren't computers making them, there were people making them. They have a humanity to them that's missing from perfect typography of today. I heard somebody say it's not just a bunch of beautiful letters, it's a bunch of beautiful letters that work well together. This is what I've been doing since I was a little kid. I learned to draw the alphabet, kindergarten, I guess. I was always held after school in 6th grade because my handwriting was so bad, because I'm a lefty. I think I found that was my favorite time of day, was after school was out and I got to hang out and just practice my alphabets. A, B, B, C, C, D, D. Drawing those alphabets after school, practicing my handwriting. And so now when I do fonts like this, I like to pretend that this is my handwriting. Like, this is how I would sign a check, with a 3D font with broken lights in it, which is just silly because we don't write checks anymore. A lot of the artistic process is just watching something come into focus. For the artist, it always starts kind of blurry, or, you know, in this case it was blank. You start with a white piece of paper and just slowly, by adding and adding, it starts to come together. And it's nice because I work with the alphabet, that I know where it begins and where it ends, that I've done it so many times that kind of know the rhythm of how many letters there are. H, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I like the holisticness of the alphabet, A through Z, you know, it's fun, it's the alphabet, and it's always been there for us. Well, you start with the I. That determines the width of the stroke. You do the O, and that determines the shape of the circle, which is the bowls in all the letters. The B, the D, the P, the Q, all those things have circular shapes in them. And when you do the O, you determine whether that's an oval or a perfect circle. Or in this case, it's a square with round corners. The A kind of lets you know where the diagonals go in the font. I like the A through U, I know that much. And when you get to the V, W, X, Y, Z, that's when you start mixing in the diagonals, and it's kind of like, you know, so that changes the whole mathematics of it. I've done hundreds and hundreds of fonts, and they're all just a little bit different. There's a lot of similarities between some of them. I can't help that because I'm doing the same thing over and over again. It's just the little things that make it different. I could try and make the most boring font in the world with nothing interesting about it, and it's just one little, the shape of the G or the bend of the S, it's gonna make it different from anybody else's font. But it's the way you render it that makes it unique and original and interesting. Original. There are lots of big companies all over the country and all over the world using my fonts. I just did some custom type for the cover of the new Target holiday catalog in the Mr. Frisky font that they use on Barbie doll packaging, and the word James and James and the Giant Peach. I did custom fonts for Huggies, the diaper company, and Pizza Hut, the pizza company. I tend to call myself an alphabetician because I'm not just a type designer. I don't just make fonts, but I also draw the alphabet as fine art. I was trained as a fine artist. I went to school at McAllister College and I learned painting and printmaking and drawing and all those things, and that's what I went to school for. But my extracurricular activities were always publication design. So being an artist is just what I've always been. I've been a drawer and a painter and somebody who makes new images with his hands. Any work of art looks better if it's got a human figure in it looking back at you. The deal with the dude, he shows up in my drawings a lot. I put the dude, he's got a yellow face and big googly eyes, and I put him in there to add a human element to the drawings to draw people in. That's all we want as human beings, is to have somebody else looking back at us, to see how great we are. When it's just the alphabet, it's kind of cold. And even if you use words, it's kind of, there's something missing. But when you put a person in the artwork and he's looking back at you, it just makes it so much more inviting. I number every piece of artwork that I make. To just kind of put it in the context of my career. Every piece of artwork I make turns out different. You know, even if I'm doing printing, I'm not a very good printer, so every print comes out a little bit different. So I just give each piece of art, every little drawing or painting or a font, you know, whatever I do that's artistic and creative, I give it a number. So 16,481. I like to have a name the font contest, get some input from my customers, see what they think for names. A lot of times they come up with names that are better than anything that I could come up with. There's probably another word that combines Hollywood and Minnesota in a way that is more clever. Look at all these neat letters. Look at how they come in. They look a lot less chaotic when they're on the computer, I think. So I can finally type out my word Hollywood. Good fonts for good people.
Minnesota Original is made possible by the Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota.